Hey there, Soulshine creators! I'm Michelle, and I'm so happy you're here with me. I am a knitter, a crocheter, a sewer, a creator, and I'm just super excited to be doing this channel. This is like one of the most fun adventures that I have taken myself on. So I wanted to share with you kind of a little update about things. I have my little list here. I'm going to actually move it over here so I don't have to look so far to see it. Before I get into like the yarn that I've gotten and my works in progress and my finished objects and all that stuff, I wanted to talk to you about Comparisonitis. As a fledgling YouTuber who I've actually have another channel that I've had for quite a few years now, 116 subscribers all these years, and it just sits there and it's a little frustrating. And then now I've started this new channel doing the yarn stuff, which has been so much more fun, and at the same time it's a little discouraging not to see the numbers increase, but I expect they'll come as my content starts getting out there. But one of the things that happens is it's really easy to compare. So my other channel, I talk about personal development, kind of like this little segment. And when I look at so many of the people presenting in the personal development field, I begin to feel like I don't belong or something's wrong. And part of that is because, I'm like Generation X or whatever, and I see these people, they're millennials, they're or even younger kids now, like these young people who they've grown up with the technology, they've grown up with videos, they didn't necessarily have to do the healing work to be okay with being on camera like I had to, and so many other people, they're such visual. I'm not a visual learner. I think Pinterest is cool, but I'm not in love with Pinterest. I enjoy doing stuff on Instagram and posting my stuff on Instagram, but I'm not like obsessed with it. I'm more of an audio person, and so it makes it harder for me to think in the way of so many of these content creators that I love watching. And so then I start comparing, and I'm noticing that I do that as well in yarn work, and that's part of why I feel like it's totally appropriate to talk about this. I know there's a lot of people who compare, like if I show you what I've done in crochet, they're just like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Well, I've been crocheting for 40 years, folks, 40 years. That's a long time. That's a lot of experience. That's a lot of mistakes along the way. And guess what? Like every crocheter, knitter, sewer, anybody who creates, I still make mistakes, and it's okay. And somebody talked about my knitting and how good my knitting was, and I'm like, I don't have anything to tell you. Like, if you actually wanted to improve your knitting, you could. And the person, especially the person that said it to me, I'm like, I know they have that talent within them. So just kind of wanted to remind people that, number one, some people have a lot of experience. Stop comparing yourself to people who have a lot of experience. Number two, everybody's unique and has their own gifts and personalities. Some of the things that this person who compares themselves to me and like talks about some of the things that they love that I do, they tell me about some of the things they're doing in their lives, and I'm just like, oh wow, I could never do that. And that's not true. I could do that. It's just not something I'm drawn to doing, and I'm so impressed. And if I were to try and do that same kind of thing, my efforts would be so different. And I think that's something we need to remember. We don't know where they're at in their journey. Social media is, so often, like right now, I cleaned off my little nightstand here because I had a few things that I'd sat there. And I make sure that you are only in frame in the stuff that looks good in my room. And I hide everything else. And it's not because I'm ashamed of that, because I've definitely worked on some of that shame and do share it in certain situations. It's because that's a distraction to have all that stuff in the scene with me, if you will. Eventually, I'm going to get to a place where I don't have this in the background as well. Maybe. We'll see, because I kind of like this in the background. But that's the thing, social media, like, you only see, like, in Instagram, you only see little bits. You don't see the everything else. With the knitting and crocheting, you don't see the hours of work or how many times we undid a whole bunch of it. You don't get to see that. You just see the finished product. Some people are more perfectionist than others, and that means that they may actually undo things more or totally quit a project and you'll never see that project. So that's kind of my message today. Just remember, we all have areas that we shine extra bright in without much effort, and we all have areas that we work really hard and we don't get to see all of the hours that go behind what you see in that little picture or video or whatever. And that's just something I'm reminding myself of and wanted to remind you of as well. So I wanted to kind of do this as kind of like a blog thing. I really enjoy hearing what's going on in people's lives. In my other life, outside of this channel, I'm a healer, and that means I do a lot of healing on myself. And recently I did some deep healing because I just kind of felt like this grr feeling when I thought about certain subjects. So I did some clearing on that, and I've had some incredible experiences since. I have always wanted to have I've always wanted to have a glider, like, you know, the rocking chairs. Like, when I was a mother of newborns, like, I really wanted a glider. And I've always wanted, like, to have a little section in my room that had a chair that I could sit in that was comfortable for crocheting and knitting in, and, you know, just kind of my own little space in my room away from my family. I love my family. I love being with them, but I also like my breaks. And I've wanted that for years, and I've tried to create that for years. And just out of nowhere, the clearing energy happened, and I now have a glider in my room, and it's a little comfortable place to sit. And it's so incredible to me that it just shows up. I wanted a new desk for my kids because we do homeschool. A lot of it's online, and I need to have multiple kids on computers at the same time. And in order to do that, there has to be the right furniture. And so I was talking to my daughter about what I wanted. I had an image in my mind about what I wanted, and we were at a thrift store, and we had bought the glider and a nightstand for her. And then we were leaving and saw them putting out this desk onto the floor. Like, nobody even had a chance to grab it. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was exactly the image in my head, and I hurried and grabbed it. So now my front room feels like it's more me than ever. Got new area rugs for the front room as well, and this desk is just perfect to have 2 computers on it. And I got my glider, like, and it doesn't even bother me that my glider is used, because it wasn't about having a brand new one. It was about having a comfortable glider that I love, and the only thing it needs is for me to crochet it a nice little cover, because that's fun, right? So those are some of the fun things, like, and it's really fun to start seeing my home feel like it represents me. I took a portion of my tax return and said, this is my yarn fund. I'm so excited about this because I keep seeing yarn. I'm like, I want that yarn. I want that yarn. So some of the yarn that I've received, I will show you, and what else I bought. I have this yarn, and I'm going to put my glasses on so I can read about it. It is from Hobby Lobby. I used to work at Hobby Lobby. I got to talk to my manager and tell her that I was into knitting now. She thought that was pretty fun. The type of yarn is Soft Secret. The color is French Lilac. It's a yarn bee company from Hobby Lobby. It's 100% acrylic, and these skeins, I've got 5 of them. They are 6 ounces, which is 170 grams, 300 yards, which is 275 meters, and it's soft, and it is a little bit on the splitty side to work with, but that's okay. I'm really excited about this, and I will tell you what I'm making in just a minute. I am loving this. I love just that I got to get myself something. I so rarely buy enough yarn to make something for myself, and especially not a sweater. I've only ever made one sweater in my life, and it was kind of one of those open weave kind of things that I made for my daughter, that had a pineapple on the front. And part of the reason why is because I've never invested in enough yarn to make something like that. So I'm really excited to be making wearable things. The other yarn I ordered off the internet. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that when I tried working with wool, my hands started getting really hot, and the heat started going up my arm, and that tells me I don't want to work with wool. And so I was looking for sock yarns. I don't mind working with the acrylic yarns that I've been working with, but I was looking for a sock yarn. And so here is, I've already started. I couldn't wait to start. I've already wound it. So it is this from Regia, is how you say it, I guess. And it's cotton color 2D fruity. And where is the information? This was Wassermelon or something like that. I don't know how to say it. It's been a long time since I studied German. But when I bought it on Amazon, it was from a German place with the German words. 72% cotton and 18% polymade and 10% polyester. So it's mostly cotton, and then it's got the stretch in it, and I'm really excited because, you know, like I said, I'm looking for yarns, and I wanted something that wasn't like all acrylic to make for myself. And this is a 100-gram skein of yarn, ball of yarn, whatever. And then I have a whole bunch of things that haven't come yet, so the next time I do this video, I will get to show you those. But the other thing that I bought myself, because if you noticed, I had to put glasses on to see things. I bought myself this. It was also at Hobby Lobby. I don't know the brand stuff, but it's pretty cool. It's got, first of all, I was really excited that it plugs in because I don't have batteries. My kids keep using them for whatever they've got going on. So it does have a place to put batteries. It takes 3 AAA. On this end, there is a flashlight. And on this end, which has the magnifying glass, which apparently has dust all over it, it has the main magnifying glass, and if you can kind of see right here, there's the little smaller one. I hardly ever use that one. It also, oh, I shined it on myself. It also has a light. And so it is designed such that I can put it on my neck and put it like here, and then put my work up here. And you can have it stand. Let's see if I can put it right here. You can have it stand on something. And you can hook, like, twist it around a sewing machine. Now, I personally got this because as I've been working with socks, especially different kinds of socks, colors of yarn, I have a really hard time if I have to fix something, or if I have to undo something, if I have to count the rows. I have a really hard time sometimes with the smaller yarn, because like this is a like, does it have it? This is a super fine, this yarn, super fine, which means that the stitches are really small. Now this one's okay to see with just my, you know, cheap readers, but because of the coloring, but some of them are not, and so I'm glad to have that. So I'm going to talk now about my finished objects, and I it was almost the same day, or maybe even the same day as my first little vlog-like video, that I came across a person. Let me see if I can find her name. Her Instagram and Ravelry is Imagine Landscapes, and her name I think is Shira, Schira. She creates knitted gnome patterns, and so and she's doing this thing this year, which is a gnome a month, and you don't have to participate every month, but if you make a gnome from one of her patterns in this year, you get entered into her whatever. I was just so excited. I thought they were so cute. I don't even care if I win anything. So this is my very first gnome, and my son. I made it for my son. He's 16, and he called him Sir Derek. And this is, what's the name of the pattern? Never Not Gnoming. And this is Natasha. I love how she plays with this. She puts like Natasha, it's Gnatasha, Natasha. Or Natasha, I guess depends on where you lived, how you pronounce it. So I made him an acrylic yarn, and super cute. He's got like the little glass flat beads in the bottom of him, and he's super fun. And I'm just gonna put him right there. You can see his little hat sticking out. And so then I did make one for my friend that has kind of, let's see, I think the body is black and the hat is kind of a teal green kind of color. It's pretty fun. I gave it to her already. She was my first, I actually have it in a video somewhere, I'm pretty sure. But she was my very first subscriber on this channel, so she's also my best friend, so I thought I'd give it to her, and that would be pretty fun. And then I made this one for my daughter's birthday, and this one has a sweater that comes from Never Naked Gnomes, also by Imagine Landscapes. And I have to show you what I put on the sweater. I made a little pineapple motif, and that was pretty fun. My family, we like the show Psych, so we always, everywhere we go, found the pineapple, found the pineapple. So I found the pineapple for her, and so that was pretty exciting. And we'll see if I can put him here too. Okay. And then those were my things, and I didn't actually. If I finished something else, I can't think of it. I don't remember finishing anything else, but I've worked on quite a few things. So, except for one more thing. I have in my house this cat. I've got this cat here. He came with like little cape things, and there's like a hook here you put things on. He has different hats. And we dress him up for all the holidays, and I just love this cat. He's so fun. And, you know, we realized that he doesn't have a name. He's just Cat. But I decided to take that same gnome pattern, and I made him a hat and the beard. The beard is, sometimes we have it up here really high, so it looks like, you know, just his nose is showing like a gnome. I made the beard separate from the hat so that when he's wearing his Santa hat, he can wear the beard. But he's really excited. I'm really excited for him. I'm thinking of making him a sweater to also wear. But a part of this is it's really frustrating when he's a naked cat. It just looks wrong for him to be naked. And summertime, we like don't really have anything for summer. I have other plans for another hat for him. But this was pretty fun, and it was another thing that I finished this year, for this week. So that was pretty cool, taking the gnome idea and making him a hat and beard. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so now on to my works in progress. I will show you this one first. So this is the Tutti Frutti yarn. Oh, this is something else that I got me. I got 2 new knitting needles. I bought one to try it out because I've heard so many people say that with the 9-inch circular knitting needles that they can't do it. I have small hands, so I thought I'll try one, see how I like it. If I like it, I'll buy a second one. This is the second one. And this is what I have been working on. And I decided, because I got this yarn and I knew this yarn was for me, but I have all my birthday present socks that I'm making for people. And my birthday's not until December, and some of my socks were going to be forever away. So I decided I was going to make socks for me. And so I'm making myself watermelon socks from that Tutti Frutti, from this yarn. I like working toe-up socks, personal choice, and so I've just been working on them, and I'm really excited. And I am getting ready to cast on the second one now that I have more knitting needles. And so my plan is, because I'm marking them, and I'm doing red and green, and then red, I'm alternating them. My plan is to get the second pair to this size, and then I'll do like sections of 10 till I get it to the right size, because once I'm going around, I don't want to keep stopping, but I figure if I do like a little section of 10 and then switch socks, my gauge will be pretty consistent between both socks, and I will keep them moving forward so that I don't have second sock syndrome, because I totally can. I know I would have with my other socks, which I will show you now, because I really had to push myself to finish them. I keep my projects in little paper sacks because I don't have the fancy cute bags right now, but I would love to get them. But so right now each project is in its own little sack. So I will show you the progress I have made on my daughter's socks, and these are a yarn from Hobby Lobby, Cozy Toes, and the link for that is in another video. So I'm doing Afterthought Heels, and I finally finished the ribbing cuff, except for tying it ends, on both of them. So the toes, as you can see, toes yarn matches the opposite sock, and the cuff yarn matches the opposite sock. So toes, heels, and cuffs in the opposite socks. She loves this one. I don't blame her. It was also easier to work with. This yarn, oh my gosh, with all those little black and yellow speckled things. I love the color of this. I like more muted things. So there's things about this I like. I like this too. But working with this yarn, this is one of the reasons I needed to have that magnifying glass, is because the way the yarn has the two colors of thread going through it made it really hard to count the rows. But all that I have left is to do the Afterthought Hills. They're already marked, ready to go. I'm really excited about that, and like I said, this is one of those things where I know the whole second sock syndrome would have happened had I not worked on them at the same time, because it took so long to go all the way up to the top of these socks. Yeah, my socks are going to be shorty socks. I like shorty socks anyway, but she wanted long socks, and I'm just like, okay. I kind of wish I could get a knitting machine just to make the tubes, because I think it would be, like, she wants to have really long socks. I think that would be really cool. Anyway, so these should be done very soon, and then I will start on my next pair of socks for kids. So my current rule for myself is a birthday sock has to be on at all times. And then I can also have a pair of socks for me going on the side, but my priority is the birthday socks. And so this one's just in another little white paper sack. My gnome for this time, I'm using cotton this time. I finished his little hat last night. I'm just using the same pattern this time. Mostly because I didn't want to think about it. I just wanted to get it going, and since I've made 3 of these, I kind of know what I'm doing now. So I've got this yarn, and it's just a cotton peaches and cream cotton yarn that I think I'm just going to keep going and make the body with this as well. And this one's going to be for my grandson, who will be 2 this month. So I've got that going on, and I'm really excited to start the body today. And last works in progress to talk about is my purple yarn. I am crocheting this one, and here is the beginning. I'm making myself a sweater, and oh my gosh, it's got the cutest sleeves. But this is a drops sweater, and I was thinking of making a drops. I'm not using the yarn they suggested, but I did gauge. Hate gauging, but I gauged. The pattern's super cute, but it's a really good thing I know what I'm doing when it comes to crochet. So that goes in a yellow gift bag, because it took quite a bit to figure out what the heck they were talking about. These are patterns written in Norway, maybe? I'm not sure. It's a European country, and they've been translated into English, and they're some of the key things that we use in the US are not necessarily in there. Like, we use brackets around certain things. They didn't. I'm gonna seize. Movie magic editing will happen. Okay, so yeah, so it took me a while to figure out. There was one thing I didn't like about the way that they do their increases in the sleeves, but I have some tricks up my sleeves, so I was able to change the pattern just slightly, still keeping the basic theme of the pattern. Really excited about that, and I'm really excited to make myself a sweater. So those are the things that are actually going on. I have quite a few projects that I put on hold as I work through some of these things, and like I'll finish the gnome. As soon as I finish the gnome, then I can start working on one of my other projects, which might actually be when I start my sewing. So I'm going to show you. I bought this shirt at a thrift store. Looks good, don't you think? And this shirt here I'm wearing, I actually cut off the collar and cut off the sleeves. I even cut off the bottom, which kind of rolls up, but it's kind of cute. It was too tight around my neck, and so I really like it, and it's really fun. It's random side fact. Okay, so this shirt I bought, but somebody, if you look, it looks really funky right here because I bought this secondhand. They did some, like, they sewed it like this because the neckline is pretty wide. And they sewed it across this little top of here, but then it just makes this weird triangle thing on top of the sleeve. If you tuck it in, it looks weird. But here's the thing. The sleeve is designed such that if I go from here and blend it down into the sleeve and then just cut off the bulk of this corner right here, it actually will mend very well and blend in and still keep in the less distance, which I need, we'll still keep that in. So I'm going to sew this, so I can start wearing it, because yeah, I like how that looks. So that's one of my projects, and I'll probably get on that one right away so I can start wearing this shirt. And my children, two of my children, are going on a Pioneer trek. Basically, it's a reenactment of what some pioneers went through on their way to Utah. And we live in Utah, and so my kids are going in August, and they like them to dress up. So I have one skirt that my older daughter wore when she went a few years ago, and I have fabric. So I'm going to be making some skirts for my other daughter. Also, they said you could wear bloomers or get like hospital scrubs and wear underneath it. So I'm actually getting her we bought her some scrubs, and I'm going to be hemming them just below her knee, or at her knee, I don't know, we'll see. But hemming those up so that they're not super long on her, and she's got bloomer type things, scrubs to wear underneath her skirts. And so I've got to do that. I'm going to make her the skirts and see what I can do for my son. I'm probably just going to send him in regular clothes for the most part. Maybe. We'll see. It depends on what I get done. So that's probably what I'm going to do when I finish the gnome for this month, is work on sewing, because it really needs to happen. And if I don't start now, then it will be August and I will not have sewed it. Ooh. And I don't want to stress last minute sewing. So my goal is to get at least one skirt and maybe an apron sewed this month. I'm probably not going to do any fancy blouses, Pioneer blouses, as cool as that would be. she's just gonna wear cotton long sleeve shirts with her skirts, because yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I have plenty of fabric, I could do it, but oh, the stress of extra sewing. So that's kind of my main focus right now, is fix that brown t-shirt and get my daughter's skirts going. I also owe her a circle skirt, both of my girls. I bought fabric for it and then never made it. And she's been asking about it, so I need to get her circle skirt made this month if I can. So yeah, those are kind of the things that we are making. So I do want to know, what are you creating this month? What are you creating this week? What are you creating today? My friend showed me what she was making. Her daughter's birthday was yesterday, and she is making her a painting project. That's really cool. I love seeing your work, so let me know what you're doing. If you want to put a link or tag me on Instagram or whatever, however it works. My Instagram is SoMagicalMichelle, and I have the link of that in the description box, as well as a link to my Etsy shop, which reminds me, I need to work on my pattern. I think that covers it for today. I'm really excited about this channel. I don't know how often I'm doing these vlogs. I feel like I want to do them fairly frequently, and I think it's going to be like a 3-week spread between my first one and this one. So I had 2 yarn tutorials. I had to do yarn balls with like if you want to have a center pole, without machines. So I have 2 tutorials. One is just like the regular one, and then the second one, I realized I didn't tell you how to make yarn balls if you need to make them in the middle of your project. And so that was the second one, and I already have a list of tutorials coming. I'm excited for those. I think it's time to end this. Thanks for watching. I would love it if you would subscribe. I'm super excited to be here and to share with you. Okay, it's time to end this video. Let your light shine through your creations. And I'll see you next time.